You know what really grinds my gears and just annoys me is the fact that we tend to feel guilty for paying money to outsource things, to delegate, or for anything that makes our life better, reduces our stress. I don't understand why we feel that guilt and feel like we're lazy, but we have to change that mindset. Hola, I am Violeta, host of the Money Chisme podcast, and here we talk about personal finance, real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and really just have deep conversations about money, get the chisme on it, and how it affects the Latino and POC community. And I want to talk about how in the Latino community we have this mindset of the harder we work, the more pride we have in the money that we earn. It's like we have to work hard for our money to be worthy of it. And if you're not like putting in that hard work, or you're doing things like a desk job or anything like that, that you're not working hard, and it's looked down upon. And even worse, if you happen to have extra cash to pay for things that you just don't want to do, or that's going to make your life easier, then it's kind of looked down upon, or you feel guilty, you feel like you're being lazy. And I really want to like start changing that mindset in my community, because we shouldn't be working so damn hard. We like, our parents, especially me being first gen, they came here and hit the ground running and worked really hard. But seeing them how much work they put in, and now that they're about to retire, it's like, for what? Because they didn't plan much for retirement, which is a whole separate topic to talk about. But that kind of mentality continues in to be passed down in generations, to where it kind of is part of our culture of being hard workers. A lot of our culture have kind of like blue collar jobs where they work construction and similar jobs, and so hard work is revered and seen almost kind of like a morality thing. And so one of the things that triggered, or not really triggered, but brought this, in my head recently, was that I saw a post where someone mentioned that they felt guilty for having a housekeeper. And I remember when I felt that way, I had to do a lot of healing, because I had the same mentality of that I have to work hard and I have to do everything myself. Otherwise, you feel lazy. And I still have to sometimes kind of correct like my mom sometimes, or my parents, with when I tell them that I pay for like food. So one of the things that I outsource is cooking. I don't have the time to cook all the time. Like, I could cook once in a while, like on the weekends and stuff, but during the week, like, me and my husband both don't have much time to cook. And then when we do, we're kind of like struggling, like, okay, what do we eat, what should we cook? And then there is a lot of wasted groceries, because we would think that we would want something and then have time to cook, and then come to find out, like, neither of us had the time to do anything. And so then groceries would, be wasted. And so that's one of the things that I outsource. And some people are like, really, you're paying for like meal prep and stuff, which is funny, because paying for meal prep wouldn't be seen if you were in like fitness or anything like that. But for some reason, just paying that way you don't have to cook and worry about it, it's kind of like, okay, you're just being lazy. And I want to talk about, how we can stop thinking this way, because what is the point of having money if you're not going to use it to make your life better? We talk about building financial freedom and building wealth, but a lot of us don't realize what that actually means. Like, yeah, it pays bills or anything and everything like that. We don't have to worry about paying a mortgage, or I have money to pay my car and things like that, pay down debt. But another thing that we need to realize is that having financial freedom and building wealth and making more money means that we can use that to buy back our time. And I'm going to put a book up here that's called Buy Back Your Time, and I'll link it down below. But it's a great read on how to start thinking about that, of figuring out what you can outsource in your life to just better your life. Our lives have gotten so much easier and has taken some of that mental workload of thinking about what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what groceries we need to buy, and how much, and all that. Because every Sunday, my meals for me and my husband gets here, and we don't have to think about it. You're hungry, bam, grab whatever you feel like eating and put it in the microwave, and then we don't have to worry about it. Another thing I would outsource is housekeeping, and that's a big taboo. Cooking and cleaning your own house in our community is a sense of big pride, right? We're known to cook, be great cooks, and same thing with cleaning our houses and stuff. But to me, that's time away from one family. I have a 8-month-old daughter, and I rather spend that time with her, with my husband, with my stepson, just doing self-care for myself, like just going to Pilates or whatever. And cooking and cleaning, that time to me is more valuable spent on those things. In some people's mind, that's seen as lazy, but I think one of the things we need to understand is how valuable time is. And I think with me, because, I'm being military, I spent a lot of time away from family. And now I'm realizing, how much time has been lost. And the same way with doing all these tasks and working so much, and working those long hours. If you think about it, with my parents, how much free time they have sacrificed to be able to put food on the table, pay the bills and all that, and all the other times that they did have, like the free time, they had to focus on cleaning or on taking care of me and my sister, and all just these little tasks. And I don't want to continue that. I want to enjoy my time, because again, what is the point of making more money, getting financial freedom and building wealth, if you're not enjoying life? So how do we change this mindset? Number one, we got to understand that a lot of it is our own mentality. Like I said, it's kind of built into us of working hard and being prideful of things, kind of pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps, and being this idea of being self-made. So if you're paying for a housekeeper and meal prep and stuff like that, are you really self-made? And but yes, you are, because now that time can be focused on, building your business, your job, or, family. That is an investment as well, spending time with family. And so one of the things is addressing that mentality and realizing that we have been kind of indoctrinated to think that working ourselves to death, has this high moral value, when it really doesn't. We're just burning ourselves out. And that's why we have a lot of burnout in our community, and we just work, 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 work. And then towards the end, it's like, yeah, we made money and all that, but in that time, we forgot to live life. And one of the things that my dad would tell me is that, don't forget to live life. Acuérdate que el dinero es para disfrutar. And, my dad would say, remember, money is to enjoy, life. And unfortunately, because the hard work ethic and that mentality of being self-made and all that, and on top of that, being an overachiever because just being first gen, it kind of fell on deaf ears for a while until now, and that I'm realizing. And it was because, it finally caught up to me, and I started having, breakdowns and everything, being burnt out and just feeling so overwhelmed because I was just doing too much and trying to do it all. And then, my daughter came along, and that just threw a wrench in everything because, like, there was no time to do anything. And now we have finally, started buying back our time because, like, we can afford these things. Same thing with the babysitter, even though my husband works from home. Uh, and I telework every other day, and I have, days where I'm off and all that. We still pay to have the babysitter from 8 to 1 because that gives us that time frame to just focus on work. And then me, if I'm not working like on the podcast, YouTube, and all that, I could focus on maybe learning, reading my book, or doing stuff that needs to be done around here. And the second thing is addressing, our traumas from, that financial anxiety and financial trauma, which, by the way, I just had a great conversation on episode 68 with Stephanie Alano. And then I have another one that I'll link as well with Rakim. And those two episodes, great conversations on how financial anxiety and financial trauma affects our communities, and steps that we can take to start healing that and the importance of that. So definitely check those out for more on how you can heal and, recognize it and address it. And so that's another thing that we have to do. And number 3 is, this idea of buying back our time and learning how to do that. And so we have to learn how to leverage our time and look through your day and look at your finances and think, well, I could spend more money on, I have this extra cash. Can I, allot that on doing something for me to buy back my time? So, for example, for me, I have the extra funds to pay for meal prep and for the babysitter to have extra time that I can now use that time to work on my business, on this podcast, on this YouTube, and, not only on that, but I also do, invest in real estate. So learning about that, being able to have time to attend. I am in like 3 to 4 groups of consists of real estate investing, just general business support groups, and podcast support groups. And, I'm able to attend those meetings and learn and network because I don't have to be, balanced and be like, well, I don't know. I don't think I could make that this weekend because I have to clean the house. I have to do laundry. I had to do that yesterday, and I spent all day just doing laundry. And that time could have been spent doing this video and doing this podcast. And then now I could have spent this time on other things, and I'm kind of behind on several things as far as the podcast. So I could have been doing that, but instead I was stuck doing laundry. And those are the types of things that we want to switch our mentality on, seeing how much better we can spend our time, how much effective. Like it could be just simple as being able to go to Pilates or go to the gym or just sit and read your book or meditate or whatever it can be. That is not a waste of time, because I know in our community that's also kind of seen that way of like, we don't have time to go to the gym. I have to work, I have to clean, I have to take care of the baby, I have to cook or whatever. And it's like, no, that is an investment in ourselves. And, you know, the best investment that you're ever going to make is yourself. And that includes your mental health, your physical health, and your just your overall happiness and education. I'm constantly learning. I have books over here. It's not even like all the books that I have, and that's not including Audible. Like so many books and courses that I've taken, workshops that I've taken, that I invest in, that many people might see as like a waste of money, but that's an investment. And I could do that because I uh, outsource things. I'm buying back my time to do things with that time that I want to do. So let's stop glamorizing, overworking, working ourselves to death. And it's like, I'm not saying don't work hard, because it obviously got me to where I am now. But at some point, we have to learn to pivot and start using those funds and to our benefit. Because how many people in your family or friends that have money in accounts, or they make decent money, but they're so scared to use it for anything, and they're just stressed, and their quality of life could be better if they just you know allotted a little bit of that money to outsource whatever it may be. It could be laundry. If you don't like doing laundry, see if you could outsource it. You don't like cleaning the house. I hate cleaning the house. I would outsource it. The only reason I don't right now is because we downsized to a 2-bedroom in preparation to our move next year. So it takes me like 20 minutes to clean this whole house every day. So not a big deal. But cooking, that takes time, and I just cannot stand it. I just not cannot stand thinking of what to cook, taking the time to cook, and then putting it up and everything. So no, just think of little things that you can start doing, and if you can't do it now, just find the thing that you wish you could outsource and try to work towards that. And the way to do that is, of course, increase your income. You could save, but you're only limited. If you make, let's say, 60,000, you can only budget so much before you can't budget anymore. So you're gonna have to, at some point, start making more income, whether that's side hustles or whatever it may be, getting a promotion or just switching jobs, which is another rant in itself. Sometimes we're just too loyal to these jobs, when you could just go somewhere else if possible, right? But that's another that's another rant. But yes, let's start changing our mindset on how we view of buying back our time, and not just for ourselves, but our businesses as well. How many people, including my dad, did not create systems or find ways to outsource several things? So now they are working in their business versus on their business. And so now you have all these businesses that rely on the owners to be successful. And if something happens to the owner, or the kids don't want to take it over, there's lots of businesses out there that are being sold now because there's no systems in place to keep the business going, and nobody wants, like, their kids or whatever don't want to take it over. And so now it's being sold, and that's because we have this mentality of that we don't want to outsource anything. We see it as a waste of money. Like, why spend that money when I could DIY? I could do it myself. And we have that mentality with lots of things, with, hiring coaches, hiring advisors, or taking courses. We see it as like, you know what, I could just Google this. I could Google how to invest in real estate. I could Google how to invest in stocks or whatever. But it's more than just that. You have to see the value of, this course. Maybe, yes, got all the information is out there, but for example, with mine, I make the information more digestible. It's catered in a certain way to help guide you. Same with lots of courses that I've taken, or that the way, I could have learned all this online, but I did for like almost a year and nothing came of it. And then I went and did this mastermind group, and it was just like a light switch. Like, everything started to click. And accountability was one too, because we met weekly. And so I was like, it accelerated the creation of Money Chisme. And now I have a pretty good foundation that now next year I can focus on actually being profitable. And I can do that because I have learned the value of buying back my time to be able to attend workshops and masterminds and spend that money and not see it as something that I need to hoard and do everything myself. So that's just a mini rant that I had this week. And let me know your thoughts below. How do you view money? As like, does it feel like you have to do everything yourself? Or what are some things that you wish or can outsource to make your life better and start buying back your time? But yeah, other than that, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and share this episode so others can also find this podcast. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias listed in the show notes below, where you can also find resources to help you in your financial journey. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, you can find that information in the show notes. Other than that, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.